We usually do this kind of a thing at the Olympia or the Arnold Classic, and I'm talking about the star-studded celebrity recap. But then all of a sudden, Erin Banks shows up, and it's like, we got a party here.
We do. We do.
Of course, we were talking about the face of the men's physique division, Erin Banks, of course, the technician, Chris Aceto. And you've seen him on After Hours. Now you get to see him on one of our recaps, Armon Adidi. Gentlemen, the Texas Pro just letting out, and for the second straight year, it is Andrew Jacked winning this show and punching, more importantly, punching his ticket to the 2023 Olympia. Erin, I'm going to go to you first on this one because now we're not talking about fellow men's physique competitors. You could be a little bit more open here. What did you see? How did you see it playing out?
Man, again, two phenomenal athletes. They both brought it. But again, when they're getting into those poses, Andrew just had just a certain pop to the bubbliness that he had on him. And I think Hunter did get him. And I talked to Chris. I said Hunter got him from that back double bicep. And of course, as they kept turning them, Andrew Jack got better. I think Hunter faded just a little bit. And then the outcome was, of course, Andrew Jack.
Well, Chris, I was informed, and then obviously me being the MC informed the audience, that tonight was not going to be a confirmation round. Tonight was going to be a round 2 of judging, and you and I discussed earlier today just how razor sharp close it was. What did you see differently in the finals as opposed to prejudging?
I think Andrew at the finals might have been a little rounder, and I think at the finals Hunter might have been a little less sharp, slightly, than the prejudging. And I think that they put them through 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah.
And I think that Andrew could have done 50. Honestly, I mean, there was no fatigue, and I think that the more they put him through, the more Hunter looked like he was, struggling. And when things are tight, this is a game of inches at this level. When like Erin said, when you have two great athletes, it comes down to splitting hairs. It comes down to preferences too. What you think is the best physique up there. We're just talking about that of opinions. Of course, you're number one, so we don't have opinion on that. But really, it comes down to everything counts. And Andrew, Andrew can still stand big,
yeah,
which is incredible. When okay, you want to do another round, and he can still get into that, standing tight on everything. And when he's standing tight on everything, standing in the lineup, he's probably one of the very, 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 very best in the world. And that's a calling card for him, and your eyes go back to that.
Armon, what did you see out of Andrew Jack tonight? Obviously, you were here present during finals.
I mean, he's pretty. I mean, he's just a perfect physique, flawless. When he poses, he's not huffing and puffing. It looks effortless. And, when it's close like that, it's like apple and oranges. Of course we like the freaky, wacky, and Hunter brought it. I mean, this is the best condition he's ever been, his cross striations and his tricep quads. But when, the sweating starts and all that, and they're really working the guys, that's what all the, practice posing is for. I mean, and Andrew just stood there effortlessly and looked like a piece of artwork. And you got, whatever the judges are going to pick and like, whatever you like. I liked Andrew. I love his physique. And I think they gave it to the right guy. And, I mean, you can't find one flaw on him. It's like.
Well, Erin, it's good that we have you here because similar to Andrew, again, you yourself, a taller competitor, and in many lineups, you are going to stand out because of your height. And I hate to say this in a negative connotation because of your structure. And similar to what you see out of Andrew, and in most lineups, he is going to stand up because of his height and because of his structure. From what you saw out of him at this past Arnold Classic and really the progression over the last 2 years, what are some of the unique new things maybe that you saw this time around as opposed to before?
Right. The first thing I saw, Chris, what I tell you, his waist got even smaller. So that stood out for me. And again, the presentation, it doesn't even, Arnold,
Just move a little closer. I think you're
Arnold, Texas, Olympia, his presentation, like they said, flawless. So main thing that I saw, like I said, is a tiny waistline, and when you have that tiny waistline, it just makes that taper look even crazier.
Chris, again, this is a conversation that you and I have had on and off since the Arnold Classic, and that is, how new Andrew is to the sport of bodybuilding. And I guess, in terms of the routine of being a bodybuilder, and we have seen really, forget about incremental, monumental changes in his physique since the Arnold Classic, which is in March. August now. What can you change going from now to November that we could see maybe something even different than what we've seen in this terms of progression?
I think you're going to see something in November that is going to be absolutely jaw-dropping, because if you look at where he was in Texas, which he won last year, to like this Texas show, it is 2 nights and 2 days different. He's way bigger, he's way harder, he's got more maturity, his back is like doubled in terms of density in the back. Training, of course, is monumental. It's the foundation for winning, right? And the hard work part. And he's done 2 6-week treks with Chris Lewis. He ran out to Chris 6 weeks before the Arnold, and I saw his physique go from point A to point Z quickly in 6 weeks. And then he went out with him 6 weeks before this show, and the same thing happened. So we have 12 weeks. And you can say, you can extrapolate it out and say, 12 weeks, how much changes can you make for someone who is new? And he's new to the sport, but he's new with a temperament that's very old, and with an ability to grasp information, whether it be diet, training, posing. He's a listener, and he's an implementer of what he listens to. He's very mature. That 12-week period to the Olympia, honestly, for other people, it's like 52 weeks, because his body's so fresh. He's so young. When you first start training, and you have, all your major gains, your trajectory are years 1, 2, and 3. And he's really in that. He's like in year 4. He's just really getting, putting his foot on the gas, and he's got, he goes and stays with Chris. And if he's going to, put 12 weeks out there, my goodness.
What is the plan? Is he going to stay in the United States from now to the Olympia?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him, but my point is that short amount of time for just like when you have a small waist and you put on 4 pounds, you look twice as big. When your body responds that well, 12 weeks is an enormous amount of time.
Armon, obviously the names that are going to be mentioned: Hadi Choopan, Derek Lunsford. We saw Samson Dowda win the Arnold Classic. The names that are going to be in the crowd for those that can dethrone Hadi Choopan, in your opinion, what you just saw tonight, and give or take another few months till November, can Andrew Jacked realistically challenge Hadi Choopan for his Mr. Olympia title?
Anything can happen. Like Chris was saying, he's so fresh to everything. A lot of other people's bodies, they're beat up. Like years of bodybuilding, a little injury here, a little injury here. And it all adds up. Chris is he's 4 years in, and so that's a lot different than these other guys that's been pounding away for 10, 15, 20 years to their bodies. So that short amount of time, someone like Andrew can improve a lot more than a lot of these other guys, and come in probably fuller looking, and just the little changes, like I said, 5 pounds, make him look dramatically different. And so it's exciting. Hadi's not posting that much, so we don't really, we kind of know what he's going to look like. And then Derek, I think he's got maybe a few more years before he kind of develops into his physique, but it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited for this Olympia, and Chris did a great job with Andrew. So
obviously the subplot to this, Hunter Labrada finishing in second, winning at the Tampa Pro 3 weeks ago, so obviously he is qualified for the Olympia. Let's get a thought from you, Erin, on what you saw out of some of the new guys, right? Carlos Thomas Jr., Jonathan Withers, Jordan Hutchinson, all making their pro debut. Jordan Hutchinson finishing 5th. Carlos Thomas Jr. in his pro debut 3rd. What impressed you the most?
Man, well, Jordan, for this to be his pro debut and to place top 5, huge congratulations. His conditioning was pretty solid, and then just thinking about Carlos Thomas Jr., man, that guy got some wheels, and he has a lot of muscle. And the thing is when he puts it together, he's gonna be a good athlete to kind of be in the mix.
Chris, what did you see out of some of the new guys? Obviously, very impressed by Carlos Thomas, and he solidifies that 3rd place finish.
Yeah, Carlos is just I talked to his father, and it's just time for him. He's new. He's also new. I mean, he's a young guy, young kid. He's a kid, and it takes time to acquire the level of muscle maturity and density to be able to, challenge an Andrew Jack and a Hunter Labrada. I mean, this is Hunter's all-time best, and look how long it took him. Even though he's been winning shows and placing high in the Olympia, it's always been for him. People like knocking his condition, yes, but a lot of it is muscle maturity too. You know what I mean? It was condition, but it's just still more time. So he's only coming into his own, and he's been around. And here's Carlos on his first show, and first call out, third place in this type of lineup. Unbelievable future.
Armon, what impressed you most about what you saw out of Carlos Thomas Jr.?
Those legs. So it's rare to see legs like that. That we know what legs look like that are all shot up and messed with, and those are some clean legs right there. I was disappointed with his conditioning. He did look like he was about 4 to 5 weeks out, but it's his first show. Nerves. I mean, getting up on that big stage with the guys. Even if he brought in crazy conditioning, he probably still would have placed third. So he's got time. Like I said, he's new to all this, and people think these guys have everything figured out just because of the way they look. And a lot of times they don't even know what they're doing. They're just like, So it's going to be exciting to see when he comes into his own and hits it. I mean, those legs. I mean, he's a freak. But this show, I mean, the conditioning will obviously way off, but it's your first show, and nerves and whatever else other hiccups he had along the way, but see bright things for him in the future.
Now we're going to see Armon Tuesday at 1 p.m. on After Hours Live on RXMuscle. Erin, before we go, what do you have next? Do you have any shows in between now and the Olympia?
Absolutely. We have the Legion Sports Festival out in Reno that we're getting ready for, which the first place pot is $20,000. So we've done some homework and kind of been an advocate to raise more money for the men's physique division. So I have to go do that show, and it's only 4 weeks before the O. So it's kind of like a warm-up show for me, So, we're going to be at the Legion Sports Festival.
What can fans expect to see? Obviously, you have been the face of the men's physique division. You have a lot of gunners after you. What improvements to your physique can we expect to see on the Legion stage?
Well, I think my back doubled. Even though I'm known for my back, it's growing. The fullness, and we're just coming more polished. I mean, we don't need to do too much. The judges already told me don't grow my arms any more bigger, no more shoulders. My chest is even coming in even bigger and fuller. So we're just coasting in and kind of just staying polished.
This was fun. It was a fun wrap-up. It was a fun show. It was a fun weekend. Special thanks, Erin Banks, Chris Aceto, Armon Adidi, Siddique Farooqi for RXMuscle.com.